and good evening. Today I want to show you how to knit this very easy pullover sweater. It could be made in any size you want, from infant up to adult, just by changing the amount of stitches. It is made all in the round, so it's only knitting, no purling, except for the ribbing. And it is made with raglan increases to create the sleeves. We're going to start from the top, from the collar, and going down up until the bottom, and then finishing off the sleeves afterwards. For this project, I'm going to be using Lorena from Ice Yarns. It is 50% cotton and 50% acrylic. The suggested needle size is 3 to 4. I'm going to be using 3.5 millimeter needles, circular needles, as you can see. So let's put this one aside and let's start by casting on. Now, depending on what size you want to make, that's how many stitches you are going to cast on. So I'm going to be making a sweater for a 2-year-old, and so I'm going to be casting on 120 stitches. Now, to figure out how many stitches to cast on, the best way would be to knit up a swatch in whatever size needles you're doing and whatever type of yarn you're using, or you could just freestyle it like I do. But the most important thing about the amount of stitches we're going to cast on is that it should be dividable by 3. I'm going to be casting on 120 stitches, and I'm going to be dividing it like here. The front 40, then one sleeve 20, the back 40, and another sleeve 20. As you see, it is 120 divided by 3 comes out to 40. So we have one 40 here, another 40 here, and the third we're going to divide again to have for the sleeves, 20, 20. That's how you divide the amount of stitches for beginning a raglan sweater. Another thing, you would want to make sure that the final number that you have of stitches should also be divisible by 4 in order to make the pattern for the neckline. You would want it to be evenly divided. As you can see here in the back, it starts with 2 knit and 2 purl and 2 knit and 2 purl, and at the end it ends with a 2 purl, and therefore it comes out equally. And so you want to make sure that you have equal amounts of 2, 2, which means 4, 4, 4, 4, and therefore it's important to see that your final number is divisible by 4 as well. So we're going to grab our yarn. You could either pull from the outside or center pull. I like to center pull. It just makes it much easier and neater to work with. Now, my biggest fear in casting on is having too little of a tail and then having to cast on all the stitches again. So I always like to make sure that I have plenty of leeway, and if I have a lot of extra, I'll just snip it off at the end. That should be enough. And I'm going to be using the long tail cast on to start. Let me show you where we're starting. We're starting right over here. We're going to be casting on the whole neckline all around. So let's start the cast on. We're taking the tail end on this side and the one that's connected to the ball of yarn on the other side, and in middle we're going to put it over the thumb and the index finger and bring it over to the front. Hold it down. Now, with the needle, we're taking from here. Now, I like to put my finger here to hold it open, as you can see, while we do the first one. Under here, under here, and over, oops, over there. And there we go. Came out very long, but you could just tighten it up. Here's our first stitch, cast on stitch. Let's do that again. The other ones will already be easier. Under here, under here, and through here, and tighten it up again. Under thumb, under index, and through thumb, let go and tighten. Under, under, through, take out thumb and tighten. There we go. Under, under, through, let go, tighten. So I'm gonna continue casting on all my 120 stitches, and I'll meet you at the end of the cast on row. I have just finished casting on all my 120 stitches, and as you can see, I actually do have a pretty long tail left, but that's fine. Let me just cut it off so it shouldn't bother us in the middle of the project.